This verse teaches that true success begins with trusting God more than our own understanding. In business, it reminds us to seek God's guidance in decisions, especially when the path is unclear. When we acknowledge Him in our plans, He directs our steps toward what is right and sustainable. Business leaders often face complex problems, and this verse encourages us to ask God for wisdom without fear. God is generous in giving insight and clarity to those who sincerely seek Him. Wisdom from God leads to better judgment, ethical choices, and long-term success. While planning is important in business, this verse reminds us that God ultimately determines the outcome. We may design strategies and set goals, but flexibility and humility are needed because God can redirect our path. Trusting Him allows us to adapt and grow even when plans change. This verse highlights the value of skill, excellence, and professionalism. In business, those who consistently improve their craft and work diligently gain respect and greater opportunities. Excellence opens doors to influence, leadership, and higher levels of responsibility. This verse encourages us to work with passion and integrity, not just to please people but to honor God. When business is done with sincerity and excellence, it builds credibility and trust. A God-centered work ethic leads to lasting impact, not just profit. Hard work produces results, while empty talk leads nowhere. This verse emphasizes action over excuses in business. Consistent effort, discipline, and follow-through are what turn ideas into income and vision into reality. This verse reminds us that the ability to create wealth comes from God. Business success should not lead to pride, but to gratitude and humility. Recognizing God as the source keeps our hearts aligned with purpose and stewardship. God's blessing brings prosperity without destroying peace or relationships. Unlike success gained through dishonesty or stress, God's favor brings growth that is wholesome and fulfilling. This verse encourages ethical business practices that lead to true prosperity. This verse reassures business owners that God is faithful to provide for their needs. While income may fluctuate, God remains the ultimate provider. Trusting Him brings peace, especially during seasons of uncertainty or financial pressure. Integrity is essential in business, and this verse warns against dishonest practices. Fairness and honesty earn God's approval and build long-term trust with customers and partners. Sustainable success is rooted in ethical dealings. This verse teaches that faithfulness in small responsibilities prepares us for greater ones. How we handle minor tasks, finances, or clients reflects our character. Consistency and trustworthiness are key foundations for business growth. Living with integrity benefits not only the business owner but also those connected to them. A righteous life creates stability, respect, and a positive legacy. Ethical leadership produces long-term influence beyond profits. This verse reminds us that growth happens in seasons. In business, there are times for planting, waiting, expanding, and resting. Understanding timing helps us avoid rushing and trust the process God is working through. Business growth often requires patience, and this verse encourages perseverance. When progress seems slow, continued faithfulness will eventually bring results. Success comes to those who refuse to give up at the right time. This verse teaches that business efforts are empty without God's involvement. Hard work is important, but true success comes when God leads the vision. When God builds the business, the results are stable and meaningful. This verse sets the proper priority for life and business. When we seek God's kingdom and righteousness first, success follows naturally. God-centered values lead to provision without compromising faith or integrity. Committing our work to God invites His guidance and favor. This verse encourages prayerful planning and dependence on Him. When God establishes our plans, they become stronger and more aligned with His purpose. This verse teaches that every aspect of business should honor God. When our work reflects integrity, excellence, and love, it becomes a form of worship. Purpose-driven business brings meaning beyond financial gain.